Doug in North Carolina. Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dan, you were talking about why we call owners Mr. and Mrs., I guess. And this gives me an opportunity to tell you about something that really irks me in society. When I was a kid, everyone was Mr. or Mrs. if they were adults. Mm-hmm. I now have a 5 or 6-year-old kid, and all of his friends call me Doug, like we're on a first-name basis. I'm wondering if you've experienced that.
I have. I have. It's weird, Doug. And then at what point do you become Mr.? That's what I want to know. Yes, Marv.
Yeah, to this day. All right, so if my mom was your friend and I just saw you, you're not Dan. My mother her head would explode off of her shoulders. Like, who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Okay.
Like, because, all right, so say if I've known you since I was a kid. Like, we have my mom's friend, Cookie. She's Miss Cookie to this day. There's no way in blue hell.
But Cookie's not her last name, is it?
Huh? No, just like a first name. So if I saw you, it's Miss Joan, Miss whoever.
Okay.
It's always Mr. or Mrs. And I'm 38. Like, no, my mom, her head would explode.
When Lamar Jackson's been on the show, he calls me Mr. Dan, I think. I think he...
Yeah, he would say Miss Michelle to Michelle Tafoya.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Paul.
When I go back to Chicago and I run into my friends' dads, my childhood friends' fathers, hey, Mr. Lynch. He goes, call me Jerry. I'm like, in a million years, I couldn't call you Jerry. It's Mr. Lynch until I die or you die.
And when my daughters have brought over boyfriends, and then they start to settle in a little bit, and then they call me Dan, and then I'll pull my daughters to the side and I say, I think we're still with the Mr. Patrick. Okay.
Do you think part of that is because they know you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's grown up with you on TV, so it's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Dan.
Yeah, you're Dan.
DP.
Yeah.
What's up, DP?
Yeah.
That's Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Patrick to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Tad.
Yeah. No. The kid was Spicoli. Yeah. He looked just like Spicoli from Fast Times.
Let's make it our time.
Yeah.
Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Hand. Yeah. He did call him Mr. Hand, though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Paul.
When my kids were little, their friends used to say, excuse me, Peyton's dad? They would never call me because they're little kids. Excuse me, Molly's dad, can you help me grab this?
I like that.
Yeah.
A little respect there.
Should we, okay, how do you tell a kid who visits your house to call you Mr. when they call you anything but that? Can you do that? Or because it's your household, right? What do you guys do?
If I'm bothered by it, I say something to my daughter and or my son. But for the most part, I'm okay. When the boyfriend is not really a boyfriend, like he's there, but he's not all the way in, the circle of trust, then I'm still Mr. Hey, come on in. You're here for the long haul. All right, then we can work on that. Yes, Eden.
I don't really feel like, and I'm probably unique in this, but I don't really feel like a Mr. or a Sir. I get I'm 44 and I'm a grown-ass man. I pay my own bills. I got a son and a family and stuff, but I don't feel like a Mr. or a Sir.
Yeah, Marv.
I was telling Seaton about this maybe a week ago. My friend, Pat, his dad is Mr. Pat, not Mr. Pat. His dad is Big Pat. And he says to call him Big Pat.
Okay.
Like, it's just a certain level of respect. Because he was almost like Seaton. Like, man, he was the real cool dad, but it was still Big Pat. You're not going to call him Pat. It was just Big Pat. It's not even Mr.
And I thought about making sure that if anybody came over, they just called me Hall of Famer.
Okay.
But or Hoff, for
Short
Hall of Fame. Yeah. Hey, Hoff. Hey, Hoffer. Yes, Todd.
Being referred to as Mr., I agree with you. It kind of makes you feel old. I don't consider myself a Mr., but I think out of respect.
But your daughter's boyfriend calls you?
Calls me Todd, but it didn't start that way. I think that I'd like to hear Mr., and then it's for me to say, enough with the Mr. You've been coming over the house for a while now. You can just call me Todd. That I should decide what I'm being called, but start with calling me Mr. Then I can correct you.
Yes, Eden.
And I don't really feel like that's a thing that you control. Like I'm not going to tell somebody else's kid how they're supposed to address me. Like their parents are supposed to instill that in them. Not, so like my son would
I've had people ask my daughters, what should he call you?
Yeah.
And then I'll say, if that's the case and he has been respectful that way, I'll just say, yeah, have him call me Dan.
I'm not gonna have some 12-year-old kid come in and be like, that's Mr. O'Connor, thanks. When you're in this house under this roof, it's Mr. O'Connor. Now, Go take your orange juice outside.
Let me take your juice box. Get it out of here. Yeah. Let's take a break. We're back after this.